Hello everybody and welcome to Level 5. Of course, I am Level 5 and on this channel we talk all things movies, TV shows, video games and comic books, and today we are going to be talking about my personal top 5 favourite primary Megazords. So what does that mean exactly? Well, of course, we're talking about Power Rangers, and I'm talking about primary Megazords only. So no 6th Ranger Zords, no extra Megazords, and no Ultimate Megazords or Ultrazords as they're called, and no additional forms either. We're just talking about the primary Megazord, the very first Megazord that they'll use and mostly use throughout their series. And of course, this is my list, so I would love to hear your guys' opinions, and of course, feel free to leave your top 5 in the comments down below. But before we do, let's roll with the intro. So, I'd like to start off with, of course, reminding everyone that this is my list, because my 5th spot is going to be a bit controversial. In my top 5, my 5th spot goes to the legendary Megazord from Power Rangers Super Mega Force. Look, Super Mega Force is not a good season. I much prefer the Super Sentai. But just because something's bad doesn't mean that you can't spark something, you know, within the dirt and the dust. You can't find a diamond, and that is the Megazord in this season. It's pirate themed. The Megazord literally wields pirate swords and slices through ships all the time. It wears a pirate hat, and I love the look of this Zord, comprised of looking red Zord. It looks like a big battleship, but all the other Zords do have a pirate-esque theme to it. One foot is a literal treasure chest. I mean, that's kind of cool. This thing is dope as fuck. I do not care what anyone says. Like I said, Super Mega Force isn't great, but I really do love the suit designs, the abilities of the Super Mega Force Rangers. The story just wasn't handled very well, and that includes the Megazord. This Megazord is so sick looking. It has cannons coming out of every body part. Let's just say we should all be glad that Power Rangers Super Mega Force was not 18 rated, huh? If y'all get what I mean. Anyway, I'm not going to defend myself on this. I honestly think this is a very cool Megazord. Cannons coming out of everywhere. It swings 2 swords around. It's dope as fuck. In my 4th spot, we're going to go with Time Force Megazord from Power Rangers Time Force. I adore this thing. This thing is great. We don't really see the Time Force Rangers within their, actual individual Zords, which is fine. But this Megazord has 2 forms, and we've never really actually had a Megazord do something like this before, or since. The blue form is a bit more bulky, a bit more chunky, but wields a blaster, and obviously is a pretty good sharpshooter if you ask me. Then we have the red form, which takes more of a knight aesthetic. It's a bit more slimline, and it wields a big sword and shield. I love this idea. I wish that more Megazords did stuff like this, where it had like a primary red form or primary blue form or whatever. And I really do like the fact that, yeah, both Zords actually get used pretty well, actually. I mean, I honestly thought that the red form got used more, which I think it does. But re-watching it with my son in 2025, I actually noticed that the blue form actually gets used quite a bit too. I just love the way that this thing looks. I love the fact that both forms look pretty, unique and very contrasting each other. The blue one is big and chunky, looks slow, but can obviously float and shoot and, is very good with a blaster. The red looks still chunky, but not as bulky, and wields a sword and a shield. Love the final slash of this Megazord too, obviously using the time aesthetic and everything. I love the fact that the blue will shoot, through the numbers of a clock, which is great. Yeah, this Megazord is awesome. I love the fact it's got 2 forms, and I love the fact we get to kind of jump between both forms, and they can shift between both forms at will too, whenever they want to. Obviously, there is a Megazord transformation that you've got to go through, but they can shift between both. They're not stuck. If you pick red, you're not stuck with red, you can shift to the blue. I also love the cockpit as well. They stand there holding on to these like weird saber looking things. It's really cool. This Megazord is very sick. In my 3rd spot, I'm going to give it to the Jungle Pride Megazord from Power Rangers Jungle Fury. I had to put this one on here. It's also a very unique Megazord in the fact that it's only 3 Zords, so that's nothing new, but the red Zord, being the tiger, takes majority of the body. It takes the 2 arms, the head, and then the torso, and that's quite unique, and half the legs. The blue and the yellow Ranger Zords taking up the bottom half of the legs, obviously. Yeah, this Megazord's really unique. We don't really have a Megazord where one Zord takes primarily all of the body parts. Obviously, when it comes to Megazords, the Zords themselves can be legs, arms, torso, and head pieces, or additional pieces like wings or like a weapon of some kind. But yeah, the fact that this Megazord uses the whole 3 thing, which again, we have seen before, Ninja Storm, for example, its Megazord is comprised of 3. But the Red Ranger Zord being more than just, a torso or a head, is quite unique. And I quite like it. I like the animal aesthetic too. It does really blend well with the animal and martial art themes that Jungle Fury kind of, is fused with animal claws instead of fists. It obviously kicks with a cheetah or a jaguar foot. And then, of course, it can do martial arts. The spin attack is a bit dumb to me. I don't really like the whole where it runs and spins its arms. I don't really like the rotation thing, but the fact that it does look like and it does martial arts is pretty cool too. So yeah, I really like it. In my 2nd spot, and honestly, what an underrated Megazord, we have the Delta Squad Megazord from Power Rangers SPD. This Megazord is so fucking good. I cannot wait to watch SPD with my son. This Megazord is so elite. It looks like it belongs on some form of police squad, and that's exactly what SPD are. They're Space Patrol Delta. They are space police officers, and this Megazord just screams awesome. I don't actually like vehicle Zords that much. I'm more into the animals and the dinosaurs, and funny enough, I have 2 vehicle ones on this list, which is strange. And yeah, I think when it comes to vehicles, take away this pirate one, because that's unique into the Zord form, but when it comes to actual vehicles, cars, wheeled things, I'm not a fan. I don't like Turbo's Megazord that much, I'm not really a fan of cars being Zords, but it does it really well. It makes sense as well, because the whole space theme, no, not space theme, police theme, sorry, so, that police officers having police cars as like Zords makes sense. I love the fact that it's strapped with a pretty cool looking gun too. I love the fact we see it like jump to one side whilst sort of pulling the trigger. So class, man. This thing is so sick. Love the color palette too. It's not one primarily color. It doesn't scream out, hey, this is the Blue Ranger Zord. This one is the Yellow Ranger Zord. It's one, it's mostly white with some highlights in there and stuff, and it looks really, really cool. I really like the way this Zord not only looks, but the way they use it too. Yeah, it's such a sick Zord. And for my number 1 spot, I have to give it to my favourite Power Rangers season of all time, and that means it's the Wild Force Megazord from Power Rangers Wild Force. Wild Force will forever be my favourite season. It's one of the seasons that got me into Power Rangers. When I said that I like the animal themes, I adore this thing. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous. 5 animals, all different. Okay, lion and tiger, both big cats, but the Zords look different, and they somehow managed to make them all combine in a really unique way. The yellow only being like a belt or like a hip, like the waist, which is unique too. When it goes to other Megazords, it's a headpiece for the primary, but then it changes, which is great. 2 arms, one being a shark, one being a tiger, which I really like because we have land and water. Don't know why I've always liked that, but I have. The legs being the bison. Love the way the bison shifts from this big bulky cube almost to the legs. The way that it transforms is great. Absolutely love that. Yeah, the Eagle Zord being the headpiece for this, but then a waist for, like, the Conga Zord is great. I love the way they use that. I love the fact that it's also its tail. The actual tail of the eagle, you know, the headpiece is in that. I think that's really clever. Each Zord's head is obviously prominent, with the lion, the eagle being on top of the lion, the bison obviously being hanging, you know, above its jewels, if you will. And then, of course, we have Shark and Tiger being the Knuckle Dusters. Not so fond of the Soul Bird thing. I don't really care for that. But obviously, they were using the Super Sentai footage, so they had to. But yeah, Wild Force Megazord will always be fantastic in my eyes. Love the fact that Shark Tail becomes a sword. That is so cool. I don't care what anyone says. That is so sick. Love the fact that all my 5, only 2 of them have animals in. But the 2 that I picked are literally the 2 most prominent animal ones. Can you tell I'm bored of dinosaurs? I think dinosaurs are overdone. I do like the dinosaurs, but I think they're overdone. Anyway, that is my top 5 primary Megazords. If you guys want me to do another top 5 when it comes to Power Rangers, do let me know. I've done top 5s before. Do please go check them out. But yeah, any other top 5s you want me to do when it comes to Power Rangers or anything else, do let me know, and I'll do my best in the comments, and I'll do my best to, you know, kind of cover them. So, for example, if you want me to do this again, but with like the 6th Ranger Zords, or maybe you want me to do like 6, not 6, top 5 auxiliary Zords or whatever, let me know. I'll do my best. With that being said, do hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you guys haven't already. It does show your support, and of course, it does notify you every time we drop a video. And of course, I love you all, roar of passion, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.